When Melania Trump appeared on live TV to deny any connection to Jeffrey Epstein, the internet lost its mind. Why now? Why her? Millions of people asked the same question. Is Trump now using Epstein to distract us from the war he started to distract us from Epstein? But here's what most conspiracy theorists missed. Melania was getting ahead of something. A source close to both her and Epstein who was about to go public. Get ready, cause this is a wild story. We're talking sex crimes, drugs, ICE agents used as personal bullies, and one secret Melania cannot afford to let out. But before we get to Melania, Epstein, and every scandal in between, there's one man we need to talk about first. Paolo Zampolli. So, by the way, his wife was the one who recently dropped a bombshell about Melania and Epstein's relationship. We'll get to that in a moment. But first, who exactly is Paolo Zampolli? On paper, Paolo Zampolli is a charming Italian-born modeling agent who came to New York City in the 1990s. This dude has been friends with Donald Trump for over 3 decades. And just recently, Donald Trump appointed him special envoy for global partnerships. Now, Paolo Zampolli has claimed for years that it was he who introduced Melania and Donald Trump to each other. In his version of the story, he threw a party in 1998 in New York City. Melania was there. Trump was there. He played matchmaker, and they fell in love. Except that in Jeffrey Epstein's version of the story, which he mentioned several times, he was the one who introduced Trump to his wife. But we'll get to that. You see, it's always suspicious to have 2 versions of the same story, but less weird when you realize that all these dudes hung out together. First, the Paolo Zampolli guy has appeared dozens of times in the Epstein files. In fact, Epstein and Zampolli were so close that they once wanted to pool cash together to buy a modeling agency called Elite Models. Now, if you've been following the Epstein case, you probably already know that Jeffrey Epstein used modeling agencies as his hunting ground to find underage victims. And yes, Zampolli would later act like he had no idea what Epstein was doing with those girls. But there's one key detail people miss, and it's the very thing that drags Melania and her recent public enemy, Amanda Ungaro, into this mess. All right, let's dive in. So, the 1990s New York modeling scene looked like a dream from the outside. Beautiful people, big parties, private jets, magazine covers. If you were a teenage girl from a small town or a small country, and someone told you that you could be part of that world, you would say yes. Of course, you would say yes. Because underneath the glamour, there was a very specific group of men who had figured out how to use that dream as a weapon. They traveled the world, Brazil, Eastern Europe, France, looking for young girls, promising them that their lives would change once they got to the US. And it did change, just not the way those girls were told it would. The key players you need to know. John Casablancas, the founder of Elite Models, one of the most powerful modeling agencies in the world. He was the godfather of this entire scene. He mentored a young Italian boy named Paolo Zampolli when Paolo was still a teenager in Milan. Casablancas had a well-documented pattern of pursuing underage models, but he wasn't the only one. Now there was Jean-Luc Brunel, the modeling boss accused of funneling girls directly to Epstein. He was later convicted in connection with trafficking crimes and died in prison. But there was another disgusting dude called Michael Adam, owner of Fashion TV, a notorious figure who loved packing his yacht with teenage models and sailing into international waters, where he believed the law couldn't touch him. And right in the center of it all was Paolo Zampolli. It was there he met Melania and Amanda at different times, 2 aspiring models hungry for opportunity. So he kept one for himself and passed the other to Trump. But over the last 2 weeks, conspiracies have been buzzing everywhere. Now, to get to the heart of it all, let's talk about Amanda Ungaro. And I want to tread carefully, so hit the subscribe button, because what comes next is more than disturbing. It's deeply heartbreaking. Amanda Ungaro is a Brazilian model. She is now 41 years old. She has a teenage son named Giovanni, and she spent 19 years of her life with Paolo Zampolli. You see, Paolo Zampolli found Amanda in Brazil when she was still in middle school. He was already over 15 years her senior, and according to Amanda, he began grooming her at the age of 15. He even gave an interview in 2021 where he described courting a young model in Brazil, sending her teddy bears, chasing her relentlessly. That young woman was Amanda. We are talking about a friend of the president and a serving US government official. He was sending flowers to a 15-year-old girl he had found in Brazil. But it gets worse. When she was only 16 years old, she was put on Jeffrey Epstein's plane with 30 other young girls. And this isn't a conspiracy theory. The DOJ released flight logs in 2021, confirming it, and she is only 16. Her modeling agent at the time was Jean-Luc Brunel, the man who was convicted for his role in Epstein's trafficking operation and later died in prison. Fast forward through 19 years. Paolo took Amanda as his wife without a legally binding marriage. Soon, they had a son. They became regulars at high-profile social events, Mar-a-Lago dinners, Trump inaugurations, and elite gatherings. Amanda even developed a good relationship with Melania's parents. From the outside, they looked like the perfect couple. But behind closed doors, Amanda was enduring physical abuse, substance issues, and financial manipulation. And most painful of all, the man she was with had connections to powerful people who could help him escape consequences for horrifying behavior. In 2023, Amanda ended it. She filed for full custody of Giovanni. And that's when everything went sideways, because a custody battle over Giovanni meant Paolo could be hit with years of unpaid child support. It meant accountability. It meant the carefully managed image he had protected for decades could finally crack. So Amanda moved to Miami, got a job at a medical assistant training school connected to a med spa, was, for the first time in her adult life, trying to build something independent. But suddenly, anonymous complaints started flooding in. Then the police showed up at her home without warning, and aggressively. Now, when they stormed in, she was with her new partner, an award-winning plastic surgeon of 30 years. They were both bundled up as neighbors watched. It took a whole hour before a search warrant was provided. They searched the house and found nothing. Then, June of 2025, Amanda and her partner were arrested. She was taken to an ICE detention facility in Miami. She stayed there for 3.5 months. And after that, she was deported to Brazil without a trial, without a conviction, without due process. Now, according to the New York Times, Zampolli contacted a top ICE official about Amanda's case. Soon after she was deported. Zampolli says he was just inquiring about her. But within 48 hours of her arrest, he posted a photo on his social media of a blindfolded Lady Justice, captioned simply, Lady Justice. Her son was brought to Brazil briefly, per court orders, after her deportation. And then Paolo forcefully removed Giovanni from her care and out of the country. She filed a kidnapping complaint, but nothing happened. That was the breaking point. Amanda decided to come for everyone, including Melania, who stayed silent when she was detained. And this is where the story turns ugly. Because Amanda isn't just disappointed anymore, she's furious. Amanda's anger toward Melania may be more justified than it first appears, because the First Lady was once in her shoes. You see, Paolo Zampolli was the man who helped bring Melania Trump to America. He spotted her at a casting call in Milan, saw potential, and arranged for her move to New York City. Before she was ever introduced to Donald Trump, Melania had already witnessed the darker side of that world. The predatory games powerful men were playing with young girls. But Melania was not the average newcomer. She was determined to rise, no matter the cost, even if it meant playing along with the men who exploited them. Unlike most girls, she was ready to go dirty.
People, they don't really know me. People think and talk about me, oh, Melania, oh, poor Melania. Don't feel sorry for me.
And it paid off for her. Well, Amanda was just 18 the first time she met Melania. They were on Donald Trump's plane, flying from Miami to New York. Melania was in her 30s, Amanda was a teenager. And because of that, she likely expected something simple from the future First Lady: empathy. Instead, time and proximity kept pulling them into the same orbit. The more access Amanda had to Trump's world, the more often she and Melania found themselves sharing spaces neither of them could fully avoid. And Amanda saw every little secret of the Trump family. Now, there is one important context you must know about Melania. Probably something the evil side of Trump admires about her. It's also something her old-time friend, who once served as advisor to the First Lady, mentioned. Melania was fierce about protecting her image.
And then all of a sudden, everyone's talking about her hand swat, which is, to me, she's literally, again, they are aligned in a way that everything is done for a reason.
She doesn't mind hurting people to create an aura of, if you spread any detail of my private life, I will come after you. That's one thing that's consistent about Melania. She wants to be in control of her narrative. Even with her nudes all over the internet, this iron grip on her narrative was on full display when Melania Trump threatened author Michael Wolff with a staggering $1 billion lawsuit over his explosive discoveries linking her to Epstein. But Wolff wasn't backing down. He fired back, calling the suit exactly what it was: a calculated move to intimidate him into silence. She pulled the same playbook on Hunter Biden and James Carville. And while Wolff held his ground, Carville wasn't so resilient. He cracked under the pressure and issued a very public apology. So when Melania saw that Amanda's tweet was a direct threat, packed with enough inside knowledge to shatter the carefully crafted illusion she had spent years building, she didn't hesitate. She acted fast. So, on April 9th, 2026, Melania Trump walked into the grand foyer of the White House. No press conference, no questions, just a prepared statement, a podium, and cameras she had personally approved. She stood there and told the entire country, with a straight face, that she barely knew Jeffrey Epstein, that she never had a real relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, that the images were fake, the stories were lies, and the people saying otherwise had no ethical standards. Then she turned around and walked away. Trump had no idea this speech was coming. White House officials were caught off guard, and she did not once, in the entire speech, defend her husband. Just for show, she called on Congress to investigate, asking for public hearings. Now, let's talk about what she actually said. Because the documents are public, the photos are out, and the emails are in the DOJ files. You see, she claimed she barely knew Epstein. She called Maxwell a casual acquaintance. Yet verified photos tell a different story. Donald Trump, Melania Knauss, Jeffrey Epstein, and Ghislaine Maxwell, together, smiling. But forget the photos for a moment, because the Epstein files have emails. On October 23, 2002, Melania wrote directly to Ghislaine Maxwell. Dear G, how are you? Nice story about JE and NY Mag. You look great in the picture. I know you are very busy flying all over the world. How was Palm Beach? I cannot wait to go down. Give me a call when you are back in NY. Have a great time. Love, Melania. Dear G. Not Maxwell. Not Ghislaine. G. But here's where it gets even stranger. That nice story she's gushing over? It's a 2002 New York Magazine piece. The very same article where Donald Trump said, and I quote, "He's a terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." And for some reason, these two women exchanging warm, friendly words over a puff piece about one of history's most prolific sex traffickers. And they just cool about it. But there's much to unveil.
Mrs. Trump, it is a true honor to have you with us today. We are delighted to present a special gift, and it's on the other side, and if you can see it, it's a painting. We're going to unveil it. There we go.
Now, Amanda Ungaro has known John Casablancas, the man who mentored Paolo, the man who built the very modeling infrastructure that Epstein and Brunel would later exploit, since she was 13 years old. That's a lifetime inside the machine. And she's not staying quiet. Despite being locked in an ongoing custody battle, her legal team has allowed her to confirm what she's sitting on. Photographs documenting physical abuse, evidence of substance problems, proof of insurance fraud, fraudulent business deals worth millions, and perhaps most explosive of all, documentation of government officials being bribed. Her attorney is still building the case. The proceedings are ongoing. There is so much more she is ready to expose, but first she has to win. Win custody of her child, and then open the floodgates on everything Melania, Trump, and Paolo have worked so hard to keep buried. But if you step back for a moment, there's something really sad about all of this. 20 years of proximity to some of the most powerful people in this country, people in the highest offices with the deepest connections. And what do you have to show for it? Just pain. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe, because there is a lot more coming. We are expecting a full documentary from this woman with 20 years of information and nothing left to lose, who is preparing to say all of it out loud. When she does, we will be here. See you in the next video.